Chapter 47 to 48. You haven't said anything. I assume that you're reconsidering your options? Scions are always hard-headed. I can see that you have some intelligence in you. Smart. This planet will die in a few minutes anyways. No one can stop it. Not even me and my incredible power. Turtles was rambling on again, but Caulifla didn't hear any of it. It was not like she was ignoring him on purpose. Her ears were just ringing and her eyes were blurry as well. His eyes then shifted to the fruit that littered above him. My beloved fruit and I will rule this universe. Greatness blah blah, power blah blah. Caulifla drowned him out and looked at what she had on her hand. She didn't know when it fell to the ground, either when they barraged the tree with their ki or with the commotion of the fight earlier. However, this was her only hope. She lifted the small red fruit to her lips, and Kale did the same with a similar fruit that Caulifla gave her. She took the biggest of bites and chowed down the rest as if she was starving. Juicy, savory, delicious. She could feel the power of the fruit course through her veins started with her mouth. The nutrients made her stomach feel tight, and her muscles even tighter. Her body and ki multiplied in power, so much so that she felt like a new person. Looking over to Kale with a renewed clarity in her eyes, she could see that a similar transformation was gone through by her friend. The only visible exception was that she had a little more bulk and muscle than before instead of reverting fully back. Turtles felt a little too narcissistic, talking on and on about himself and how great he is. Maybe not narcissistic enough. Anyways, he wanted to see the reactions of the people he was trying to lure. He felt something off when they were looking at each other more energized than ever. Maybe his words were actually hyping them up? The scouter on his face didn't agree with him when the number spiked from its original number to numbers never before seen. It wasn't soon before the scouter couldn't take it anymore with its changing number and exploded on his face. Turtles wanted to run. The only amazing thing that could boost their power so dramatically was the fruit of the Tree of Might. His suspicions were confirmed when he saw the bare naked core on the ground near them. He planned his retreat by taking a couple of fruits and leave the planet to die with everyone on it. Unfortunately for him, Caulifla stopped gawking her own body and power when she didn't hear Turtle's villain monologue. Picking up as many fruits as he can, he sneakily flew out of there. If he had just left without trying to get those fruits, maybe he would have survived. Greed is a killer. Stopped him in his tracks by grabbing the back of his neck. Her bulky muscles held him in the air like a helpless puppy. All of his fruit was dropped when Kale tightens her grip on his neck. He tried to make her let go. The air in his lungs was slowly getting wilted away. Caulifla flew up to look at the panic within his eyes and smirked. Thanks for the bite. We should give you something in return. Kale threw turtles at bottom of the trunk of his tree. Charging their ki like last time, they decided it was now or never. Crush cannon. Resist blast. Their ki collided and combined once more. This wave of attack was 10x bigger than before, and all of its glory hit Turtles right in the face. His entire body was being crushed, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Ash. Unlike last time when the tree only swayed, they could visibly see the tree giving way. Turtles felt his back loosen in its hardness, and felt like he was being lifted up in the air ever so slowly. The tree and all of its roots were loosening up from the soil that it was deeply embedded in. One last push, that was all that was needed. And that they did. Using all the power they gained from the fruit into their blast, the tree was finally airborne. It slowly went higher and higher with the roots following behind like tendrils. Caulifla and Kale stopped injecting more of their power, and when the end of the beam hit the tree, it exploded in a shiny fashion. Green and white sparkles covered the earth, restoring life and energy to everything that had it stolen. Too bad the girls couldn't see. They were beat laying on the floor inversely from each other. Nice job, Kale. I knew I could count on you. Always. In their normal close relationship, they fist bumped to the hard-fought victory they had. Both of them at the same time sensed a power level higher than Turtles. Alarmed, they turned towards that direction only to be relieved when they saw three bald men. Tien, Krillin, and Katsu arrived a couple of minutes after the battle and overlooked the wreckage that the fight made. They barely spotted the two girls because their power levels were so low. Flying down to them, Tien gave them both senzu beans to restore their energy. Feeling restoration energy on par with the fruit of the Tree of Might's power-up energy, they jumped up in amazement. Wow, I never knew that those little beans could give you so much energy. No wonder Goku took a few on his trip to Frisia. With those, he could beat Frisia 3 times over. Don't be too sure. The beans may give you your full power back, but it is no use if your opponent is stronger than you. Caulifla took that into consideration and thanked Tien for his support, albeit a lot late. Kale and Caulifla decided to return to Capsule Corp to rest and check on Bulma, while the Z-Fighters helped clean the mess. Returning to Capsule Corp, they found Bulma very intensely struggling to get something within her previous communicator machine. When Bulma saw the two girls, her eyes light up in delight. What took you so long? I need your help. Get that part of there and bring it closer to my new machine. They silently did what she asked when they heard the anxiousness in her voice. After they did that, they waited a few more minutes for Bulma to do the finishing touches. Pressing the on button on her contraption, the display came alive much to Bulma's exasperation. The glee in her face was drained of all of its blood when she saw the history of the signals sent. Chi-Chi, where are you? It isn't looking too good. There was someone else with Frieza just as powerful as him. Goku, come in Bulma, launch Plan C right now. Goku, Bulma, are you there? We need to go for Plan C. Caulifla, go get the box over in my room. You should easily see it. We need to start Plan C. What could have happened on Earth? What is Bulma doing that she can't help us? Is the machine broken? No, it can't be. Chi-Chi communicated with Bulma during our outer space trip. Is she in trouble? What could trouble her? Goku couldn't help but think these thoughts as he dashed towards the wreckage of the ship. He had to stop short when a purple laser cut a line in front of him telling him not to go any further. Now, if we let you do that, we wouldn't be able to see the despair in your face one moment longer. The two brothers were in the way between him and this loved ones and Vegeta. Reaching into his pocket, there were a dozen of senzu beans packed inside. Popping one in his mouth, he gained his power back and furiously fought his way towards them. Senzu beans were of no use if they were dead. Shinron can't take away the pain of dying slowly either. Kaioken times 5. It became Goku trying his hardest to push them down long enough to reach the ship. His panicky movements made it easier for them to stall and land blows, even with the power increase. Cooler eventually had Goku back on the ground again. A few well-timed blows were enough to tire out Goku once again during his Kaioken times 5 state. Ha ha ha, weakling, getting so worked up over a few puny mortals. Yes, I love that look on your face. Let me see if the people on this ship could make the same expressions. Frieza walked up to the ship and opened the fiery ball of metal. Goku couldn't move an inch from his position under Cooler's foot. The senzu beans felt like a mile away from the way his arm was crackling. Emerging from the ship was someone with Frieza. A girl. Frieza held Chi-Chi like she was a doll. She was unconscious with some blood coming from her mouth and parts of her body. That relief that Goku felt when she was alive dissipated when he heard the screams that came from her when Frieza squeezed her arm a little. Goku looked down and closed his eyes. Waves of helplessness came over him. Why did I come here? Why was I so confident in this world where every turn is danger? Where did I think everything will go my way? Why did I think I was powerful enough? Don't look away now. It is the best part. Cooler lifted Goku's head and forced his eyes open. Seeing Frieza about to death beam her thigh unlocked something within Goku. Don't stop now, become stronger. Using all the anger he felt, he pushed it towards his conviction. Goku's hair started to flash yellow, while his eyes became a crystallized blue. Cooler's foot started to burn to melt all of what he knew about Scions. Ah! That scream felt refreshing. It blew Cooler away from the laying Scion. Slowly standing up, Frieza was mesmerized by what was before him. Golden hair, golden aura, and blue eyes. A Super Saiyan. Blinking once, he didn't know how he got beside Cooler embedded into the wall. Giving Chi-Chi a senzu bean, her full consciousness came too. She saw her slightly different-looking husband fueled with silent rage. The situation was about to be explained to her, but instead, the communication device in Goku's pocket came first. Answering it, they both heard Bulma's voice filled with anticipation. Goku! Goku, are you there? There was something on our end, but it has been resolved. Caulifla has just got back with Plan C. Do we still need to go through with it? Goku's calm voice surprised the hysterical Bulma and was about to confirm her plans. However, he had a different idea. No. Go for Plan D. Another change in plans, it really showed how cautious Goku was. This plan, however, didn't really sit well with Chi-Chi and Bulma. They felt it was unnecessary and dumb. Plan D? Why Plan D? Let's just go Plan C and have you come back. I can just make another ship for you. Bulma wasn't having any of it. She wasn't going to work her butt off and think that her love was dead just to have him initiate Plan D. Trust me on this, Bulma. Go Plan D. As he said this, he was staring into the dark pupils of Chi-Chi. Like hell I will. Goku, you listen, dash. Bulma, do it. Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi interrupted Bulma's thoughts and sided with Goku. While looking at Goku, she couldn't help but feel like he was on top of the world. She didn't know if it was the new look that was getting to her, though. You. Ugh. Fine. Caulifla, do it. And with that, Bulma hung up. Goku gave the senzu beans to Chi-Chi. Understanding what due to, she went inside the ship and gave it to everyone before they could die. Goku turned to face the frost demons that were looking at him with great fear. I knew we should have killed him when we got the chance, but you wanted to play with that harlot. You are truly too spoiled, brother. Who knew that he was going to transform into the legendary Super Saiyan of the past? I thought that accursed hairy form was his limit. The crew of people started to line up behind Goku. Cooler smirked at the obvious weak spot. It doesn't matter. With their ship destroyed, those weaklings could not escape. He can't take both of us while also protecting them. Both of them started to laugh very evil laughs. You could tell it was evil because it sounded like every other villain ever. His plan was ingenious. An ingenious plan it was. Too bad that the victims that he targeted were disappearing right before his very eyes. What? The sky was dark with an eternal dragon covering the sky instead. I want all of the people that went with Goku to return to Earth. Not Goku himself. Bulma hesitated a bit at the end. Your wish is done. Goodbye. And like that, Shinran went back inside his residence and dashed away in 7 separate directions. Making sure to grant their wish before leaving, several bright lights appeared before them. Dimming out a bit, it was revealed to be Vegeta, Piccolo, Raditz, Chi-Chi, Bulla, and Gohan like Bulma asked. The latter 3 all rushed to Bulma when they saw where they were and hugged her. Bulma wasn't having any of it and demanded what happened. Why did we use Plan D, where we leave Goku instead of Plan C, where everyone is brought back? Something happened to Goku, his hair it was. Kakarot turned into a Super Saiyan, that bastard. Vegeta chimed in, and his words shocked everyone, especially the Saiyans to their core. Achieving a transformation of the legends was no easy feat. Vegeta stormed off, as everyone else got close to Caulifla and Kale to hear the tale of what happened on Earth. Vegeta was hiding, listening in as well. How could this happen? Explain, brother. Frieza was in full baby rage mode. Everything wasn't going his way, and frankly, Cooler had enough of him. It was time to finally transform. Muscle bulging seemed to be a common theme as of late, and Cooler was no exception. Everything about him expanded similar to Frieza's full power state, but more streamlined. His head expanded with spikes inward as his height got bigger. Originally towering over Frieza, he was like a mammoth to him. A face mask covered his face to finish the transformation. Can't have flies going in there while fighting. Brother. What is this? Now his brother looked different, had a higher power level than him. A new transformation? Impossible. Cooler looked at Frieza, and Frieza stood in a place frozen in fear. Sensing Frieza's power level taking a deep dive throughout the fight, he decided Frieza no longer necessary. Just as Frieza berated himself to be afraid of his brother, Cooler went up to Frieza and sliced his head off before he could do anything. Clean and swift, no remorse in just killing his own brother. Goku watched also a little bit without emotions. He was your only chance to taking me on. He would only get in the way. Cooler dashed towards Goku, confident in his own strength. Punch after punch kept missing. Goku didn't even feel like Cooler was trying at all. Did he really get that much of an increase in strength? Goku felt like it wasn't even his own body he was controlling. He still felt angry. It was laying format in his stomach, still filling all of his thoughts. Calming down a little, it felt like he was in Kaioken, but it didn't tax his body at all. Kamehameha. Firing a short Kamehameha wave at Cooler. He retreated and countered with a death flash. The attacks created a rise in smoke between the fighters. Coming at Goku, tearing the smoke apart, were 2 eye lasers. Goku slapped the 2 of them in opposite direction. What the beams revealed was an ash-covered Cooler, looking not too pleased with what transpired. My transformation. Was it not enough? Will I die by this filthy scion? He balled his fist in frustration. As if they knew what their leader was thinking, Salza, Dor, and Nai's, the Cooler armored squadron, sprang up to attack Goku from behind. Goku looked at them from the corner of his eyes briefly. He then moved his finger to shoot them down one at a time with a thin ki blast to their brains. At that exact moment, Cooler flew at his fastest speed away from Goku. Already fooled by this trick, Goku was just seconds behind Cooler. Seeing that he was tailed, he broke all restraints and started to carve the planet they were on with a continuous ki blast to its center. The planet was breaking apart as Cooler's ship was in sight. Similar to Frieza, the circular ship was laying dormant waiting for usage. Goku smiled at the sight of his escaped ship. Shelling out a burst of speed, Goku caught up with Cooler and hammered him down to the ground. He fell in the ravine that he was carving up and was dangerously close to the molten lava. Goku booked it to the ship and entered. At the front of the ship, Goku started the ship up from all of his learning from Vegeta and Bulma. By the time Cooler made it out of the ravine with some bits of his flesh missing, the ship was already out of the planet's atmosphere. You won't take my ship, Scion. Cooler did his best to reach his ship in the distance. His fate was sealed when 2 bursts of ki came from his ship and hit him right in the chest. The ki blast that hit him forced him back on the planet, and the other was headed straight towards the core from the ravine. The planet exploded when it landed. Cooler's spaceship was top-notch and already escaped the blast zone of the small planet. Seems like my work here is done. Time to go to Yardrat. And with that, his ship entered full speed and dashed off to the unknown.